Welcome, every one of you, again today. Here we are, moving ahead in the book of Exodus with a light harmonization with the book of Jasher and other history documents. We go into some of the archaeology once in a while, etc., some of the little details on this religion that is against the church here. And when I say the church, I say Moses and the 12 tribes were the church. Of course they were. How do you say that? They have a belief in Yahshua, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. That's the true Jew right there. That's what the Bible teaches, and that's what we know is true. But here we got more murmuring here, unfortunately for them, at the Rephidim. And then God sendeth him for water to the rock in Horeb, and this Amalek is overthrown by the holding up of Moses' hands. Hey, we all remember that, don't we? So, anyway, that's what we have here. We're going to do 17 and 18 here. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Okay, and that's a big deal, not having water to drink. But they've been taken care of. They've had all their daily bread, as the Lord's Prayer said, all this time. So you wouldn't murmur, would you? In 2 it says, wherefore the people did chide with Moses and said, give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, why chide you with me? ? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord? ? And they're harmonizing this verse with Numbers 20th chapter, 4th verse from the translators there. In 3, and the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses, and said, wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt, to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? ? Now, boy, is this a broken record throughout this. See how long-suffering the Lord was, and how he forgave them so many times for this. In 4, and Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, what shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. Period. How about that? And the Lord said unto Moses, go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. 6. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. Now they got a plethora of harmonization here. They got Numbers 29, they got Psalm 78:15, and 105:41. They got the wisdom of Solomon here in the wisdom 11:4. That's the wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha. And then in 1 Corinthians 10:4, as the table people are saying. Okay, so there's that. And he did this right in the sight of the elders. 7, and he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord amongst us or not? Now notice here that he's standing on the rock in Horeb. He says, Behold, I will stand before thee there. Well, that's Christ, folks. That's what the Bible teaches. If that doesn't go along with someone's religiosity, someone's ridiculous religion that has taught them otherwise, they're being lied to. That's just the bottom line. Jesus Christ was here the whole time. Moses loved Jesus Christ and wrote the Song of Moses and prophesied about Jesus Christ's birth. Okay, it's just the bottom line. And 8 is a new paragraph. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, capital C, Choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in mine hand. And we discussed that rod, and we discussed where it came from according to Jaser there out of the Garden of Eden, etc. In 10 it says, So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. That's Hur, that's H-U-R, capital H. In 11 it says, And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. Okay, in 12, But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other. Now, see how they're being taught here. They're being taught about this authenticity of Moses. He is for real here, isn't he? He is sent by the Lord. And so here they are, one on one side, one on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun, capital S, period. 13, And Joshua, which is Yahshua, discomforted Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Okay, now notice here you're getting the scribing of the doctrine here that we're reading. How do you like that? Well, I like that. In 15, And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahovah Nissi. Okay, and that's the Yah, the name. They're harmonizing this with Numbers 24:20, Samuel 15:3. Now, they're calling that Yahovah Nissi out of the Hebrew. Says, The Lord my banner, or because of the hand of Amalek is against the throne of the Lord. Therefore, okay, Hebrew, the hand upon the throne of the Lord. And that's out of Hebrew according to these notes here. Those are the notes from the translators, folks. You make of them, use them as you will. Okay, in 16, For he said, Because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And they use this in the media here lately. they used Amalek. Netanyahu made a speech and used Amalek, and so he's comparing himself and the Rothschilds' world war here to this war with Amalek from generation to generation. How do you like that? Anyway, that was the Netanyahu speech that was promoted in the media. And here we go on with chapter 18. And Jethro bringeth Moses his wife and his 2 sons, and Moses entertaineth him, and he counsels him on getting judges, and Jethro departs. And remember, the particular question I have about Revel was his complete name in Jaser, but here in the Old Testament, we have his name, Revel, used, and then here it's Jethro as time progressed. So, if someone out there has the answer to that one, why don't you email us here at the King James Bible Prophecy Church? We'd like to know exactly how that got changed and why. In 18 it says, Then Jethro, the priest of Midian. Okay, here, and notice that he's a priest of Midian, and that's the occult. That's the Babylonian religion here. Remember now, he's growing, and he's going to get to know the Lord here. So it says, when Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her 2 sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom. For he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. And 4 says, and the name of the other was Eleazar. For the God of my father, said he, is mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Eleazar, in the Hebrew, they're saying, my God is an help. And then Gershom, that is a stranger there, okay. According to the translators again. 5, it says, and Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the Mount of God. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife, and her 2 sons with her. And this is what, Horeb or Sinai, right? 7, it says, and with a new paragraph, and Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. 9, and Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. 10, and Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Period. Now listen to this conversion here. This is a beautiful thing when someone is strong enough to reject their old Kabbalist religion and to go on and grow and find the real God. Listen to this in 11. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, little g. For in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. 12. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came, and all the elders of Israel, to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. How about this? Conversion. And this is a really good time of non-backsliding here at this point. 13 is another paragraph. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, capital W, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? ? Why sittest thou thyself alone? And all the people stand by thee from morning unto even? ? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of God. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws, capital L. 17, so he's teaching among judging, see? And that's what a good judge should do, shouldn't he? And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Here he's got a good idea here. Listen. 19. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt shew them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Boy, that goes for us today too, doesn't it? 21, moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. So he's organizing, okay? And notice the qualifications here. You don't want covetousness, right? And notice the truth. They love the truth. Boy, those are good qualifications, aren't they? We need some of that today, don't we? Anyway, in 22 it says, and let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So there's a lot of wisdom there for a guy that just really got to know the Lord perfectly. And he's really growing, and that's what we all need to do. But he's showing a lot of wisdom and understanding here, is he not? Anyway, in 24, so Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. 25, and Moses chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s, period. 26, and they judged the people at all seasons, the hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves, period. And you'll see more of this in the law and how it was done as this all progresses, and we're beelining into all that here. We're going to go right through it. Okay, last verse of the podcast here, it says in a new paragraph, and Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. So you can see here how things are progressing. This is not a bad part of it, and we always get upset when we hear about the backsliding, about the murmuring, and you see that was the majority of people. But here we have somebody that has come out of the occult religion. They've come out of the Whore of Babylon here, and they are really doing good, it seems to me, with all this good advice and this talk about the Lord. This shows you that you can come out of the Whore of Babylon, you can reject Satan.